Hi, welcome to Rivetea. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Longhair Linda, and today we are recapping Love and Marriage DC Season 2, Episode 7, and this one is called Love and Lace Fronts. So, let's go! So, this episode opens with Arena asking why Winter is here at Ashley's Say That Ish since Winter isn't getting along with anybody. Ashley says she invited her because she met up with her before about getting to a cordial space since Winter and Sherrell are now hanging out. Winter adds that it's not about friendship, it's about moving forward. And Ashley's bestie Alicia says it makes sense for Winter to be there if Sherrell is going to keep bringing her around, which she doesn't understand. And Joy says she doesn't understand it either. Well, Sherrell jumps in saying she doesn't have a problem with Winter. Winter works with her husband and she likes to give people a chance to F her over, telling Joy that she may not understand that, but that's what she does. Ashley doesn't care who Sherrell is friends with unless the friendship is built on an I hate Ashley campaign. And Sherrell is like, I didn't go and seek a friendship out with Winter. I don't roll like that. And if you remember, if you watched my recap of season 1 of Love and Marriage DC, I did a few recaps, in anticipation of this season starting. And one of the main things that really irked me about Winter is that she kept going around telling people the type of woman she is. And to me, that's always a red flag when people insist on telling me about the type of person they are, especially if it's in like an argumentative almost kind of form. It sounds like you're just trying to convince yourself that that's who you are, and now you keep going around telling people, well, I'm not the type of person, I'm the type of person that does it. It's too much. Let your actions tell me the type of person that you are. If you keep telling me, I'm going to start believing that you are not only lying to me, but you're lying to yourself too. So that's what Sherrell is kind of giving me when she keeps insisting about I'm the type that does this and I'm not the type that does that. Maybe let me know what you think. I might be being harsh because it's her first season. She is trying to get out there, I guess, the image of who she is. So I kind of get it when it's on a reality TV platform. But for me, personally, red flag. Ashley clears up that she doesn't think Sherrell sought Winter out. Winter sought her out. And Arena adds that they hear what Sherrell is saying, but it just doesn't look right. And not just to Arena, to everybody. This, of course, kicks off a whole other bickering session between Sherrell and Arena. And Joy, who appears to have, gained some courage now at this point, says the conversation, aka the argument, shouldn't have happened at Quick's street naming event and that the conversation should have been with her. Okay, Joy. Nice of you to have Arena's back and actually try and take some of that smoke from Sherrell yourself. Although I noticed that you're doing it when she is less heated than she was initially, but it's okay. We'll take what we can get. Sherrell says Arena bringing up Joy at her fitness event was messy AF, and another argument, of course, breaks out at this point. Sherrell tells us in her confessional that she is sick of Nana, the nickname that she has for Arena, because a Nana sits by the window and tells everybody's business, but twists and turns it. She loves spreading mess. Whew. All right. Now, Arena and Joy then switch seats, I'm guessing so that Arena can be further away from Sherrell since they're bickering back and forth, which I don't really understand because Alicia was already sitting between them, but maybe she felt she needed more space from Sherrell, which is fine. Ashley says the ish with Sherrell and Arena shouldn't be between them and tells Joy and Sherrell to work their ish out. Both ladies say they have nothing to work out with each other. What? Like you clearly do? Alright, fine. Ashley wants everyone to get to a better place, and Alicia asks what moving on looks like for everybody. Ashley and Winter confirm that they're in the same place, not friends, but don't have animosity and want to get to a place where they aren't blowing up at each other whenever they're in the same space. That seems reasonable enough. Winter says that she brought invites to her Romancipation event and tells us in her confessional that it's a chance for us to witness the Queen in her triumph. So the invites are kind of cute, to be honest with you. It's like this little box, which had, I think, like a bit of alcohol in there. It was kind of cute. It was a good job by Winter. I'm not mad at it, not a hater at all. Now, Gutter Barbies comes up, and Winter is still trying to convince them that it's not a diss track. And Black doesn't make music like that. I think she was kind of encouraged strongly by Sherrell to bring that up on camera and in the group session. But I'm just guessing, just my opinion. I have no basis for that. But anyway, she plays some of the song at Ashley's request, and Alicia, referencing the lyrics, asks, "So you want to be a gutter Barbie?" And Winter's like, "In this song." Now Alicia starts cheering, saying it all makes sense now, and Winter gives Winter a high five, yelling that everybody wants to be a gutter Barbie. So okay, I stand corrected, and I'm sure a lot of people do. Now that we're hearing parts of it, it seems to be just like a provocative name for the song to get the people going, but it's not actually a diss track. Fine. It also looks like the ladies are good with Winter now, which I'm actually kind of glad with. I think that Winter's not my favourite castmate, and I think I've made that clear in my recaps before. But I do think there are some good scenes with Winter in them. Few and far between, but they're there. And we actually get one later on in this episode. I'll come back to that. But I think that if Winter is going to be a castmate, I think it's really, really important for us that they can at least, even if they're going to disagree, even if they're not going to be real life friends, which they're clearly not, I think it's really important that we can get some good group scenes. I think it makes the show fun. I think especially when they're having events, when they can have a drink and have a laugh and let loose. I think we need those scenes, and we need to be able to still get drama, obviously, but it not to shut down the idea of group sessions. I think that's really important personally for the show. So I'm glad. I'm glad they all seem to be getting on with Winter, at least for now. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the season and what that looks like now that everyone's deciding to get along. Joy and Clifton are having dinner at a soul food spot and meet with their friend Carmen. Now, Carmen is their castmate from Ready to Love. Apparently she was Clifton's number 2, but when she saw the connection between Clifton and Joy, she was just like, oh, no, that's not for me. I didn't watch Ready to Love. If you did, let me know about that dynamic, because Carmen ended up being friends with Clifton and then later on Joy, and so now she's like their friend. They seem to have a good kind of friendship on the show from the one scene that we've seen at dinner. But I want to hear from you if you watch Ready to Love. Let me know about that dynamic. I'm curious. Not curious enough to go watch the episodes, but I want to know. If you watch Ready to Love, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. Clifton talks about his upcoming surgery for his back problems, and Carmen wishes him well but wants to know what's going on with their new castmates. Get right to the tea. Joy updates her on everybody, saying the ladies are all fun, but Alicia is messy, and if her bestie is Ashley, she has to be messy too. Where did this come from? I thought Joy only had issues with Sherrell's husband. She has problems with Alicia and Ashley now? What's going on? Did I miss something? Wait a minute. I just remembered. On the first episode, when we were introduced to Joy, she was asked questions. I can't believe I totally put this out of my mind. Literally the first episode of this season, Joy was asked questions by Alicia and Ashley about why she would be giving some kind of presentation or talk about single mums being ready to love at the Steve Harvey Foundation or whatever. So it's like, yeah, of course she still has issues with Alicia. Duh, Linda, get it together. Okay, mystery solved. Carmen asks Joy if she thinks Ashley is messy, and Joy's like, yes. Carmen wants to know why Alicia is messy, and Joy says she is Ashley's sidekick. Why does a person need a sidekick? They've been friends since childhood, so they're ride or die, but when you're ride or die, how much damage are you gonna do together? Wait, so is your problem that they're friends since childhood? Joy says in this group of people, she only technically has Erana, and Carmen asks who in the group is trying to be the head B, and Joy says, what's the first letter of the alphabet? Now, Clifton points out that there are two of them that have that. And Joy says, we're not worried about the sidekick. Who's the other one? You see, Joy, I've been calling her a mini Winter. Because behind everyone's back, she has all of the smoke. All of it. It just feels like as well that like after the whole thing with the whole ready to love speech, presentation, whatever, it feels like they'd moved past that and that they were good. And every interaction I've seen with Joy and Ashley in particular, because I don't think Alicia has been around Joy since, has been positive. So it's giving manufactured. It's giving holding a grudge. Carmen suggests that maybe Ashley is trying to put Joy in her place. And after some flexing in her confessional, we know she loves to do that, Joy tells Carmen about Alicia going in on Sherrell's wig from that Say That-ish event while Sherrell wasn't there. Joy is confused because she's talking bad about her and then kikiing with her when they're together. Well, that clears up the messy comments some more, for sure. And I guess she has a point. You shouldn't be talking badly if you're supposed to be good with Sherrell. Like, aren't they like all friends? So I get it. I get that point. Now, Joy does some Winter-esque doublespeak here and says that she told them that this could come off as fake and phony, but she says she didn't actually say fake and phony, but she said it would come off like that way. So what did you actually say? Because the way she said it was really doublespeaky, and I don't understand. Because literally, she turns to Carmen and she's like, I told them it could come off as fake and phony. Well, I didn't say fake and phony, but I told them if it could come off that way. What way if you didn't say fake and phony? What were the words you used? I do, however, I'll give this one to Joy. I do understand her point in the confessional because if, you know, Alicia and Ashley, if Ashley also did join in on that conversation, if it wasn't just Alicia, but if they can talk about Sherrell when they're friends behind her back, what could they be saying about Clifton and Joy? That is a very, very fair point. I think whenever you're around a group of people and like somebody comes to you with some tea about somebody that they're then cool with, I'm looking at you sideways. I'm like, no. Because if you can say it to me about somebody else, you're talking about me too. And I'm good on that. So totally understand that point. Totally valid. Now, Carmen said that she would be confused about the friendships too, but Joy needs to sit back and listen, have boundaries, and let them know that she's not down with them kikiing about her behind her back. Joy says she's building a friendship with Ashley, but Ashley comes with Alicia and Sherrell. When Joy says she wants to just be with Clifton, Carmen suggests that he borrows Sherrell's wig and becomes Burrell. Not him wearing a wig, child. You know, I think there were some points. I think Joy did do her thing, her mini Winter thing of having energy behind people's backs that she doesn't have to their face. So it's interesting that she talks about Alicia doing that with Sherrell. But I do still think her point is valid because if Alicia is sitting there, you know, making jokes, making fun about somebody who's her friend, that does come across as messy, and that would make me look at you sideways because I could never really trust you. So I do understand Joy's point, even though she likes to put sauce on things and flex when she's not around the people, but we'll allow it this time because she had a valid point. We'll allow it. Like I can even control what a grown woman does. You know what I'm saying. It's all jokes here. At the Silvers, Ashley and Quick are hosting a family dinner and Quick's manager and Ashley's assistant join them. Ashley hands kids their contracts, which outline their chores and responsibilities around the house as a way of spelling out things for the kids, especially Antonio. Now, I think this is a great idea. Obviously, it depends on their age, but listen, kids' contracts, obviously not legally binding. But I think it's really, really a good way of teaching slightly older kids, you know, you don't want to do this to toddlers, they won't understand, but slightly older kids, the importance of keeping your word, keeping up your end of your responsibilities. And if they're written down, everybody knows where they are. And I've got something as a parent that I can come to you and say, hey, listen, we had an agreement. This was the agreement. You signed it. In adulthood, in the real world, when you say you're going to do something, and especially if you sign an agreement, you better do it because there are consequences. And I think it's a great way of not only getting them to understand it, but also preparing them for the future. So I love this idea. I think this is a great idea. Quick tells the kids that he thinks this will teach them responsibility, as he thinks they have almost spoiled them. Ashley and Quick talk about Antonio waking himself up for school again. Remember, they had this whole argument because Ashley, she's the one that's waking him up, and he thinks he's too old for that, and all of that. And then tells Antonio that he needs to be going to sleep by 11:30. Now I know he's 15, but 11:30 feels late. 11:30 p.m. I remember being like, when I was still in school, because I'm a young baby, so I'm an August baby. So I didn't. I left school at 15 instead of 16, like my age mates. I didn't leave school. I was still going to like sixth form and stuff, but I'm talking about secondary school, high school. I left at 15 because I was one of the younger ones. Now, while I was still in school, I don't remember being allowed to just stay up till 11:30. Even at 15, already 5:10, my mom would be like, what? What are you doing? So I say that to say that Antonio has it pretty good that his bedtime is 11:30, in my opinion. Now, I wasn't raised in this age, and I'm not raising anybody in this age. So maybe I have it just wrong, and I'm thinking about, I was going to say the good old days, but I'm not old enough to call it the good old days. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. All right. So Erana is at a photo shoot for her new wig launch, joined by Joy and Ashley. Now, Ashley is trying on wigs for the first time, she says, and she says she's got a big head. Now, big head girls unite, okay? We might not have a huge forehead. I did the whole, do you know the TikTok trend where you do your fingers like this from your eyebrows to your hairline? And if it's, 5, then it's normal. Anything above that, then you have a big forehead. Well, I got 4. So I'm below average in terms of forehead size. But my head size, what's weird is, I think it's the fact that I have a lot of hair more than I have a big head. I have a big face. But when I shaved my head some years back, and I noticed, by way of my friends making fun of me, that I actually have quite a small head, and I kept getting called a peanut head. So really it's my face that's big and my hair that's thick. And so if I'm ever doing a wig situation, I have to make sure, my hair is really braided down, and I have to get big head friendly wigs if I'm going to do it. So I feel like I identify with the big head girls, even if technically I have a peanut head and I don't feel good about it. Anyway, this isn't about me. This is about Love and Marriage DC. So let's get back to the show. Now, Erana tells Ashley right before Joy walks in that her and Sherrell aren't getting along, telling us in her confessional that her and Sherrell are like oil and water, and she doesn't understand why Sherrell keeps hanging out with Winter. Erana, I love you. You know that I do. But you have to let this Winter thing go. Just let it go. I know she was talking about rumors. I know that she gave your husband a nickname last season. I know that at the start of this season, she was still trying to be in your DMs, trying to talk about rumors that have been brought about you raising Jason, right? And I know that was a sore spot for you. But you don't have to be friends with this lady. Just let it go. Just let it go. Now, when Joy arrives, Erana asks her if she will be going to Winter's event. And Joy is like, no, but have fun. Ashley says she should go as a singer to support another singer, and Joy's asking, who's the singer? Ashley says Winter will be singing at this event and tells Joy that she could give her some tips and let them know if her tone is right, her pitch. Shady Ashley in the building, okay? She is in the building. Joy says everyone here is opinionated and is quite sure that they will let Winter know if her tonality isn't right. Now, Erana pivots, talking about when Sherrell says stop speaking for Ashley, and Joy says it's not speaking for her. Bottom line is, Erana is her friend. Outside looking in, if she has an issue with something, she will sit there and tell you, same as Alicia. Ashley can speak for herself. isn't this a very different opinion to the one that you just shared with Carmen? What happened to Ashley trying to be HBIC and Alicia being her sidekick? Hmm? Again, this is my issue with people trying to tell me the type of person that they are. Didn't you tell us that you're the type to, you're the type to, you're the type to, but when it comes time to, what did you do? Ashley tells Erana to stay out of it with Sherrell, and Erana says that she will, but she will also jump in if she has something to say about Joy or Ashley because they are her friends. Erana is not going to be friends with Sherrell and Laugh and Kiki. Ashley suggests inviting her to the wig launch, and Erana says that's like having Winter there. Does she have a point? There are definitely some similarities with Sherrell and Winter. Now, I know I like to call Joy Mini Winter, but is Winter Mini Sherrell? Because I feel like the three of them have very similar behaviors. But Sherrell will get in your face about it. Sherrell is like the final boss. She don't care about screaming in your face about things, right? Whereas Winter will be a confessional gangster, but she will hold her own if she has to. And Joy just really does not be saying things to people's faces when it's time to. She really doesn't. So I feel like it's like Sherrell, and then Winter's a mini Sherrell, and then Joy's a mini Winter, which is a mini Sherrell. You know what I mean? Jamie and little Jamie are meeting with Quick and Antonio to show the young'uns South DC, a high crime area. Quick and Jamie are trying to help Antonio nip the entitlement in the bud. Now, Quick talks about the contract, you know, being about stopping Antonio going from being a spoiled kid to an entitled kid. And Jamie adds that at Antonio's age, they're chores, but at little Jamie's age, they're bills. Little Jamie has a job with troubled youth, and he talks about how the kids had no coats in the winter, and on his third day on the job he started a coat drive. I love this so much. This touched my heart so much, and I think this really speaks to the character of little Jamie. I think a lot of us have been rooting for little Jamie even when we see him mess up, right? I think a lot of us viewers have really been rooting for him because I think, in my opinion anyway, I could be wrong, I don't want to speak for anybody, but for me, watching it, I can see he's a good dude. I can see he has good character, and I warm to him a lot when I watch him. So in the moments, even when I've been critical on recaps about the way he's been acting towards his dad, it's not because I think he's a bad guy at all. It's because I'm like, it sucks even more to watch you mess up when you clearly have a great character, right? And this is evidence of that. Him being at a job for 3 days, noticing he's got a nice coat. It's winter time in the DMV, and then you know he's seeing these youth come in and they can't afford a coat, you know, so they're there in hoodies. And in his mind, by the third day on the job, he's like, right, we're gonna do something about this. We're gonna start a coat drive. Don't. I love that kid. He's such a good soul, and he's not a kid. He's 26. I don't mean to infantilize him, but I just think he's great. Quick offers to post the coat drive flyer on his socials and says that he will match whatever they get. Love that. Quick wants Antonio to stay a great kid and become an amazing man, and little Jamie adds that he was hanging around with people with the wrong type of people in his life, and it's just not worth it. Quick is proud that little Jamie was giving Antonio advice after he gave little Jamie advice, and is glad that it didn't just fall on deaf ears. I thought this was really, really a very, very powerful scene. I just thought, you know, aside from the fact that it was very visually very powerful, right? Because they were walking around this area in South DC and there was like blood on the ground. Like it was a lot, right? So not just visually, but it was so great to see something on reality TV, especially where young black men who, in my opinion, are a target of society, for them to be for them to be able to see what society could have done to them if it wasn't for their parents. Does that make sense? I think it was so powerful for Antonio and little Jamie really to just constantly be reminded. I know this isn't the first time this is, been brought up for the little Jamie, because this was Jamie's idea. If you remember in a scene in the boxing club, in the boxing gym, sorry, Jamie gave Quick that idea by saying he took little Jamie to those areas back in the day. But I think it's such a powerful scene to watch them there, because sometimes you need that, right? You need to be in it. You need to see what your life could have become if it wasn't for the hard work and the opportunities and, frankly, the good fortune that your parents had, right? That they can then bestow upon you. And like I say, listen, to me, young black men are really a target in society. Society wants nothing more than to keep you down and to tell you that it's your fault that you're there, right? And I think it's any opportunity to show young black men, one, that they can get out of it, and to actually give them those opportunities to, like, even something as simple as a coat drive, not to diminish it, but even something like that, even putting therapy on TV, even showing these young men going through these experiences on reality TV and having people relate to it and really see what their life can be. I will get emotional, because it's just crucial to me. And I want young people, and people of any age, let's be honest, but I want people to be able to see that and to see how, while sometimes limited and definitely depending on where in the world you are, how there are resources, how there are people that really care about you and really want to undo a lot of what society is trying to do and has been doing successfully for so long. I'm veering off, but I think this was a powerful scene and I loved it. And yeah, these are the things that remind me how much I love this show. So let's move on. So it's the day of Arena's wig launch, and she's stressed because Kira Dior isn't there, decorators and caterers aren't there, and a model cancelled on her at the last minute, so she needs to find another one. Arena calls Ashley, and Ashley says, "I've got you." Arena tells her that she needs to be there with the other models at 4:30, and Ashley laughs, saying that might be an issue, but she will be there. Listen, this is where me and Ashley relate. Ashley talks about how she will always get someplace late, and so will I. Now, usually that's just a social thing. I don't know if I was in the same position if I would still be late, but I feel you, girl. I feel you. Winter is meeting with Sherrell and Black for their Friends Who Smash podcast. Sherrell and Black have a surprise for Winter. They've invited Black's friend Yusha to try and hook them up. Was it Usha or Yusha? I think it's Yusha. The podcast gets going, and it turns out that this episode is about dating after divorce. Winter talks about how difficult it was for her to recover from her first divorce because her and the father of her kids were married at 19. The second divorce, to Kevin the Scammer, allegedly, was much easier. Yusha asked her a question, and the way these two were looking at each other as they spoke was like, ooh. Yusha talks about his own divorce 7 years ago and how tough it was to not have family outside of his ex-wife and daughter living in DC. Sherrell asks if they are open to the possibility of dating each other, and Sherrell pats herself on the back in their confessional. Well, if Winter's Twitter feed is anything to go by, the setup worked and they're still together. So, good for them. Back at Arena's event, guests are arriving and all the models are there except for Ashley, who then arrives a little late. It turns out Arena did end up inviting Sherrell and is hoping that it all goes well. Sherrell and Black arrive, and she says in her confessional that she was shocked to get an invite. Arena later gives a speech to set off the fashion show for the wigs, as Ashley, says the bobs were bobbing, the wigs were swinging, and the event overall was great. Even Sherrell is having a great time and says she's proud of Arena in her confessional. Arena tells Ashley, Joy, and Clifton are sick, which is why they aren't there, and Ashley is happy that Arena invited Sherrell, and Erana wants to have a conversation with Sherrell by themselves. So, they walk off and have a little sit down. Erana reiterates that she didn't use the word shady expecting to set Sherrell off, and she wants them to be able to move forward without arguing every time they come together. Sherrell tells her that she's proud of her, and they hug and go back to the party. So, I'm hoping it's squashed for now, and that it doesn't come up, because I'm sick of hearing the word shady. Okay? Okay. Now, when they get back to the party and everything's going, I don't know how much time is in between here. I did watch, what's his name? Jamie's interview with DJ Richie Sky on YouTube. Go check out his channel if you like. And it seems like that was kind of being filmed for a couple of hours. So, he says he wasn't drunk in that interview. I'm looking at him thinking, you were a little saucy. But that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to, whatever. Anyway, so Jamie starts going off at the group, which, they're all standing together now, telling Erana that he knows that this is going on, but they've got to get back to work. Now, he motions this as in, like, her fashion show, her wig line launch, right? Jamie tells the group that this one right here hasn't been doing content videos. They do TikTok videos together. And then turns to Erana and says, I'm telling you what we're going to do. They can have their own goddamn opinions. Ashley says she needs a drink. Jamie continues, I need 2 hours of your day because we're going to make these videos whether you like it or not. Are you clear? Erana and I let out an ooh. Erana is like, you can't say that, while Ashley and Sherrell are screaming for drinks at this point. Jamie's yelling after he asks Erana if she answered his question, and Black is like, you didn't ask a question, you made a statement, and good for you, Black, because sometimes men just be like quiet when other dudes are going off, and I'm glad that he actually said the truth. You didn't ask, there were no questions in there. I mean, actually no, there was a question. The are you clear was a question after you made a very clear statement, but okay. Jamie and Ashley have a little spat here, and the group basically disperse because of Jamie's mess. Now, for me, I was watching this like, why are you trying to take the shine off of your wife's event? This is her wig launch. Why would you do that, Jamie? And that was the end of the episode. So, ratings. I gave this one another 8 out of 10. I think it was solid. I think it was a solid episode. There were some scenes that I really, really loved. And I think, I think an 8 is good. 8 was solid. So the Say That-ish event concluded with the ladies agreeing to move forward, even though Sherrell and Erana went a little bit at it during the session. We met Carmen, Joy, and Clifton's friend from Ready to Love, and we got to hear how Joy really feels about the rest of the ladies. Alicia is messy. Ashley is too. Ashley's trying to be HBIC. Alicia's her sidekick. Let's not forget all that. Quick and Jamie took their sons to a rough neighborhood to show them how lucky they are, and Erana had a successful wig launch where Sherrell and Erana squashed their beef, but Jamie acted a fool. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. I want to know what you rate this episode out of 10. I want to know your thoughts, your comments, your feedback, either down in the comments below or over on social media at Rivetea TV, or both. Please let me know. I'm curious. But for now, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!